It's something we encounter every day, but how often do we stop and think about what paper actually is? Sure, it's something we write on. We draw, sketch, doodle, glue to our walls, wrap our gifts with it. And it's the key to books, maps, newspapers, and probably that junk mail that clutters your mailbox. But in truth, paper is one of humanity's greatest inventions, something that helped shape our world and drive our progress. Before the screen you're watching this on, before the books you read, before the laws, letters, poetry, and science, there was paper, the humble invention that allowed humans to write, remember, and revolutionize the world. But where did it come from? Who first made it and how did it spread to every corner of the earth? Today, we dive into the astonishing origin of paper. From bamboo and silk to recycled rags and modern pulp, from Chinese courts to Egyptian tombs. Let's start at the very beginning. For most of human history, keeping track of the things we needed to remember was a struggle. Long before the invention of paper, humans felt a powerful need to communicate, to record, to remember. Over 30,000 years ago, our ancestors painted symbols and animals on cave walls. By 3000 BCE, the Sumerians had developed cuneiform, a wedge-shaped writing system pressed into clay tablets. In Egypt, people were writing on a different material, papyrus. Papyrus, made from the tall reed of the same name, was an early paper-like material. It was durable, portable, and used across the ancient world, from administrative records to sacred texts. But papyrus had its limits. It didn't age well in humid climates, and it cracked when folded. The search for better materials continued. In India and Central Asia, people wrote on palm leaves, birch bark, and treated animal skins known as parchment or vellum, which were expensive, hard to produce, and limited in supply. The world needed something cheaper, stronger, and easier to make. The breakthrough came in ancient China during the Han Dynasty over 2,000 years ago. Although early forms of paper may have existed before, it was a man named Cai Lun, a court official, who was credited with inventing true paper in 105 CE. Legend says that while taking a walk in the countryside, Cai Lun noticed scraps of silk clinging to a twig. This sparked an idea. Could a material like silk be broken down and used for writing? Inspired, Cai Lun experimented. He gathered mulberry bark, hemp waste, old rags, and fishing nets, all mashed into a pulp with water. Then, using a bamboo screen, he lifted a thin layer of the pulp, drained the water, pressed, and dried it. The result? A light, smooth, flexible writing surface that was cheaper and faster to make than anything before. Paper-making spread quickly through Chinese society, from bureaucrats to poets, scholars, and monks. It powered an explosion in literacy, record-keeping, calligraphy, and art. Buddhist monks copied texts, beautiful scrolls being painted. Paper became the foundation of Chinese culture, one of the four great inventions. Alongside the compass, gunpowder, and printing. For centuries, China protected its paper-making secrets. But knowledge has a way of traveling. Paper moved slowly westward, carried by traders along the Silk Road, and Buddhist monks spreading their teachings. By the 8th century, the secret finally escaped. In 751 CE, the Chinese and Arabs clashed at the Battle of Talas, near modern-day Kyrgyzstan. Among the Chinese prisoners were papermakers. The Arabs, quick to recognize its value, brought the technology back to Samarkand and later to Baghdad. In the Islamic Golden Age, paper flourished. It replaced parchment in many regions. With its rise came the House of Wisdom in Baghdad, where scholars translated and preserved ancient Greek, Roman, and Persian texts. Paper helped birth a scientific and cultural renaissance across the Islamic world. Libraries bloomed, literature blossomed. Mathematics, astronomy, medicine, all were recorded and shared. From Baghdad, paper spread to North Africa, Spain, and eventually the heart of Europe. By the 12th century, paper had reached Europe first through Muslim Spain, then Italy and France. But it faced resistance. Many Europeans preferred parchment, strong, smooth, and traditional. Some even thought paper was too fragile or pagan. But over time, paper's advantages won out. In 13th century Italy, the first European paper mills were built, especially in Fabriano, which developed important innovations like watermarks and animal gelatin sizing to make paper stronger. Artists, scientists, and thinkers embraced it. It became the canvas for the Renaissance used by Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Galileo. But the real revolution came in 1440 with Johannes Gutenberg's printing press. Gutenberg's press needed cheap, abundant paper, and it got it. The first mass-produced book, the Gutenberg Bible, marked the beginning of print culture. Ideas could now spread like wildfire. Religious reform, political movements, scientific discoveries, paper made them all possible. In the age of empires, paper was as valuable as gold. It documented voyages, mapped new continents, recorded treaties, and carried news across oceans. The newspapers of London, the journals of Lewis and Clark, the contracts of colonization all flowed from the press, printed on paper. By the 18th and 19th centuries, literacy soared. Paper was in schools, factories, homes, and churches. But a problem was growing. Traditional papermaking couldn't keep up. Using rags as raw material wasn't sustainable. Demand was outpacing supply. Enter the next revolution. In 1844, two inventors, Charles Fenerty in Canada and Friedrich Keller in Germany, independently discovered a game-changer. Wood pulp could replace rags. By chemically and mechanically breaking down wood fibers, they created a cheaper, more abundant source of paper pulp. Then came the Fourdrinier machine, an invention that could make continuous rolls of paper at high speeds. Paper production became massive, mechanized, and global. This explosion fueled newspapers, books, school systems, advertising, bureaucracy, and, eventually, the modern office. Paper became the bedrock of the modern world. Contracts, newspapers, report cards, love letters, war declarations, all inked on sheets of paper. Then came the digital age. Computers, email, and cloud storage threatened to replace paper entirely. The 1990s promised a paperless future, but that hasn't quite come to pass. While digital tools transformed communication, paper remains resilient. We still read books, we print important documents, we wrap gifts, decorate spaces, and scribble notes. And in many parts of the world, paper is still vital for education, voting, documentation, and art. Meanwhile, concerns about deforestation and waste have inspired new movements. Recycled paper, bamboo paper, tree-free paper from agricultural waste, sustainable forestry certification. And innovation continues. From stone paper to nanocellulose, new frontiers of paper are being explored. From bamboo pulp in ancient China to mass-market books and billion-dollar publishing, to origami cranes and grocery receipts. Paper has recorded our dreams, our knowledge, and our stories for over 2 millennia. It's helped us build civilizations, preserve memories, and challenge power. It may be light, but its impact is immeasurable. So next time you hold a simple sheet of paper, remember, you're touching a piece of human history. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through the origin of paper, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe for more history-rich stories and tell us in the comments, what's your favorite use of paper? Until next time, keep exploring.